to me, my X-Men.
Mutants. People born with the X gene, which grants them extraordinary gifts and powers. But with these powers comes tons and tons of discrimination and prejudice from normal humans. You know, I realized that a lot of people agreed with Magneto's violent ways of handling mankind, considering they have an immense disliking for mutants, but then something began to ponder in my mind. Do humans have a right to fear mutants? And after doing some research and critical thinking, I've come to the conclusion that yes, hate against mutants is low-key valid. No, this is in fact not rage bait. I genuinely think that hatred towards mutants is very much valid, and that mutants as a species needs to be exterminated off of the face of the earth. Now, if you think I'm personally wrong, then I dare you, yeah you, to either go in the comment sections or make a whole video debunking me as to why I'm wrong. And shit, I'll even respond back and debate you. But without further ado, let me explain my reasons for why the racism against the mutant race is low-key well deserved. Now, imagine you're on your lunch break, right? Just vibing, relaxing, and probably munching on some chips or whatever. And maybe you're low-key just scrolling on TikTok. Nothing out of the usual, right? Then one of your coworkers just accidentally starts shooting out laser beams from their eyes, incinerating you and everybody near you. Like, bro, what do you even do in that situation? And that's my point exactly. Because the mass majority of the mutant population deadass has little to no actual control over their abilities and powers, and can frankly cause a lot of damage and destruction without even really trying. And if what you think I'm saying is just straight up blasphemy and crazy, then explain this. Meet this young innocent teenage boy who appears to be waking up and getting ready for school. He walks around the house and then realizes that something isn't just right, because his breakfast is empty and the sink is still running. Not just that, but his mom is nowhere to be seen. So when he tries calling out for his mom and tries looking for her, he finds nothing but her stuff on the floor. But he just decides to think nothing of it and goes outside to go to school. And this is where the horror begins. Because when he reaches school, everybody surrounding him literally disintegrates to death. They just straight up disappear just like that. No warning or any visible hint, they're just gone. And the reason for why they disappeared is actually very easy to explain. This man right here had just awakened his mutant abilities. And his mutant powers were more like a curse instead of a gift, because anybody who decided to get close to him or near him would immediately get disintegrated and evaporate until there was no trace of them left. He was just straight up walking death. And this right here was also a clear indication that these mutants are a threat to humanity, especially if they barely have any control over their powers. Because dog, what do you mean if I come near you, my body's literally just gonna go bye-bye? Like, gang, that's crazy. And before you say, Barcav, that's why Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters exists, to help mutants control their powers. Bro, how do I explain this to you? But Xavier literally sent out Big Wolverine to go ahead and permanently put this boy out of his own misery. Yeah, because of the fact that this boy right here managed to kill a total of 265 people, Charles Xavier decided, yeah, I have no other way of fixing this situation besides getting rid of this kid. So he decides to grab Wolverine and will force him to finish off the kid. And it's kind of really sad to think about, because to put this into perspective, this is like your own teammate saying, sorry buddy, but you're too dangerous, so you gotta go. Like, even Xavier, the man who's known for teaching and attempting to guide mutants onto the right path, knew there was absolutely no possible way of fixing this kid. The thought alone of Xavier even harming his own people because of their powers proves that humans aren't really that crazy for wanting mutants to go extinct. So when I keep hearing people say, Magneto isn't really that bad, he's just trying to protect his own kind. Bro, his kind literally vaporized 265 people. Do you know how much 265 people are? Actually, I don't know either. But still, Magneto shouldn't really be that surprised that humans want mutants gone. Actually, now that we're on the topic of Magneto, let's talk about the time that he literally changed Earth's axis. So you know when a normal human crashes out, it's already bad enough, right? But when a mutant does it, the whole damn world is affected. And the best example of this is with Magneto. So long story short, his daughter Wanda gets shot by Ultron, killing her. Then in that same day, his son Quicksilver dies by the hands of Hawkeye because he was trying to protect his dad from this arrow. And yes, you heard me alright, Hawkeye actually managed to get a kill on somebody. Strange, right? But after Quicksilver dies, Magneto gets heated because now his son and daughter are basically gone, and he promises to avenge them. And with that, the next thing he does is, well, he just flips the Earth's polarity with zero effort or difficulty. Yeah, he kind of just changes the Earth's axis just like that with no struggle. And with him doing that, he creates a mass global incident. I'm telling you, he creates mass floods, chilling blizzards, and earthquakes. All that. Just because Hawkeye managed to get a kill on somebody. Now, I don't know about you, but if a singular pissed off mutant is capable of causing millions and millions of people to die, then imagine what 10 mutants or fucking 100 mutants can do. Scary, right? Now, you could say that this is technically Hawkeye's fault, since he was the person who killed Quicksilver, which led Magneto to do what he did. But first of all, this is a mutant hate video, so you obviously know I'm side with the humans. Second of all, Hawkeye wasn't even really trying to take out Quicksilver like that. It was Quicksilver, after all, who decided to jump in front of the arrow and let himself get hit by it instead of Magneto. So, in conclusion, Hawkeye is innocent. Also, even if it was Hawkeye's fault, why in the world is Magneto taking out his anger on the whole entire world instead of just Hawkeye? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But he decided to spin back on everybody except for his actual op. Now, if you think Magneto changing Earth's polarity was insane, my friend, Magneto isn't even remotely close to being the top 10 strongest mutant. You want to see an actual mutant that can do some serious damage? Well, if so, then I present to you Matthew Mallaloy, one of, if not the most dangerous and strongest mutant in the Marvel Universe. Because he can do something that a lot of people can't do, with the exception of, well, Wanda Maximoff and Franklin Richards. But he's capable of bending reality at will, which means he's a reality warper. So if he really wanted to, he could just snap his fingers just like that, and you deadass would be erased from reality. But unlike the rest of the reality warpers I mentioned before, there's a certain catch with Matthew here. Because you know how I stated previously in this video that a good portion of mutants can't have actual good mastery over their powers and abilities? This applies to Matthew, but terrifyingly enough, it applies to him on a reality warping scale. And to give you guys an idea of what this man has done with his mutant abilities, I'll give you guys a couple of examples of how he's used his powers. So the first actual time he used his mutant powers is when he came across his wife's sister, Alana. And Matthew right now is in a current state of depression right now because his wife has recently passed away. And when him and Lana confront each other, Alana tries to force him to talk about his dead wife, which consequently leads Matthew to having some sort of mental breakdown, which causes him to awaken his mutant abilities and eviscerate not only Lana, but the whole entire town he's in. So right off the bat, we are just being introduced to Matthew's powers, and he's already obliterated a whole town in a matter of just a second. And it gets even more crazier from here, cause since he destroyed the entire town, that obviously prompts S.H.I.E.L.D. to come in and investigate Matthew. And the person who's leading the investigation is Maria Hill, the commander of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she asks Matthew several questions, like does he have powers, is he a mutant, and most importantly, is he the person who made this mess? And the more she asks questions, the more he begins to lose control again. And Maria, seeing this, orders her S.H.I.E.L.D. soldiers to come in and capture Matthew. But Matthew lets out his powers again and decimates every single S.H.I.E.L.D. soldier from nearby. Like, this guy's powers is just off the charts, dude. And people still have the audacity to act clueless when a regular normal human from the Marvel Universe is in fear of the mutant race. Like, guys, are you not seeing what I'm seeing? He just literally flatlined a whole army right here, and he just got his mutant powers, gang. But after a while, Matthew Mallaloy becomes this huge threat to basically the whole Marvel Universe, and even incinerates everyone at Xavier's school for mutants, including the X-Men. His powers got so bad that Tempest, a mutant who's capable of manipulating time, went back in time to tell Charles Xavier about the future and what Matthew Mallaloy eventually becomes. So Xavier and Tempest go to the point where Matthew's parents first meet, and Xavier uses his mind and basically prevents his parents from meeting, which means he's never born and never existed. Kinda kinda crazy. He was too overpowered that even the writers said, how the hell are we actually gonna make this guy die? So they do the good old go back in time and prevent him from being born trick. Just goes to show that bro was on a completely different level with his mutant abilities. But anyways, I'ma wrap this video up. Hopefully I managed to convince you guys that mutant hate is actually reasonable. But again, just like how I said in the start of the video, if you guys think I'm wrong, then go in the comment sections or make a video proving me wrong, because I personally want to hear your guys' opinion on this topic. Anywho, I'ma go to sleep, so bye.